Start now.
We already know that a lot of types of fire extinguishers are used to control and put off a fire, but a lot of it requires training and others are expensive, dangerous when not prepared. The researchers wants to know if there is another way to extinguish fire that is cheap and safe. With the help of the internet, the researchers found that it is possible to extinguish fire using sound. As this is not common, the researchers have taken an interest into studying and wants to know the result if ever should build a prototype. Statistics: in a 5-year period, house fires caused 2,620 deaths and 6.9 billion in property damage, and can take just 30 seconds for a small flame to turn into a major blaze. More than 3,000 Americans dies in fires each year, and every day at least one child dies from a fire inside the home. Addition to these statistics from the Philippines, that from January to February 2022, there is an increase of 13% total of 2,103 fire incidents from 1,863 incidents within the same period in 2021. Main causes are faulty wires, cigarette butts, open flames from unattended stoves, and flammable chemicals.
What are the common solutions? Fire, water, and fire extinguisher. Sand, water, and fire extinguisher. Water is too dangerous to use specifically if the cause of fire is electricity. Sand is also quite useful to eliminate the fire, but too messy and heavy, same as fire extinguisher.
And also, when we use fire extinguisher, first of all, it is harmful for our health, and also it is consumable. So it means we need to buy another one if we use it. And also, it has a expiration and it's the pressure over time. And also, it causes mess because of the foam and powder from it.
Next.
Any other plans?
So any other plans? So in this case, we have think of inspirations from first we have our ancestors in physics, Albert Einstein. He said, "Look deep into nature, and you will understand everything better." And followed by Nikola Tesla, to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Therefore, the question is, why don't we use vibration? Next slide, please. So why not use vibration? Or the next question is, can we use vibration? Next.
Did you know 2 students from George Mason University conduct a study that results that at 50 Hz and 150 watts, fire can be extinguished? So now, I'll discuss how our device works. Frequency firefighter works by the means of vibration at 50 Hz and 150 watts. It disturbs the harmonic frequency of the fire. It breaks the chain reaction of the fire tetrahedron, which consists of oxygen, fuel, and heat. As it targets the oxygen and scatters the oxygen molecules, the harmonic frequency of the fire is destroyed and fire will be extinguished. For our plan, here's Mr. Santos to discuss.
So the plan of our group was to create a prototype to test if vibration can extinguish fire. Yet by maximizing our limited resources, such as just a 25-watt speaker, and somehow think of new improvements on the previous studies about this.
Mark 1. The idea of our product has been approved, but the first prototype was impractical and we've come up to a solution that we can make it more simple and less complicated on the design. And after that, we make the Mark 2. The design that we've come up on Mark 2 is composed of a PVC pipe. The PVC pipe has a speaker on the back and vent on the front. Our product works by producing specifically 50 Hz sound with a 25-watt speaker. And during the testing of our product, we are able to eliminate the fire. During our testing, we encounter a common thing in engineering. After we solve a problem, another problem arises. Well, that's that's engineering, right? So the problem that we face is sound waves are too scattered for a 25-watt speaker. So we notice the vent of the vent is too wide for us to control the sound waves. So our solution is we will reduce the size of the vent to control the sound waves, and this led us to the creation of Mark.
Next.
In procedure for Mark II, I will be discussing it. Steps in using frequency firefighter. Step 1. Make sure that the amplifier is plugged into the wall outlet. Step 2. Connect the frequency firefighter to the amplifier and turn it on. Step 3. Set the amplifier to 50 Hz and 150 watts. Step 4. Properly place the frequency firefighter to the fire. For the circuit diagram, here you can see the circuit diagram of our power supply, from convenience outlet to power supply. This results transforming from 220 volts AC to 45 volts DC using full bridge rectifier and step-down transformer. Also, here's our circuit diagram from 45 volts DC that supplies the 150 watt speaker. Here you can see the various resistors and capacitors and diodes. On the bottom right part, you'll see the auxiliary cord for the phone, but here's the thing. Given situation that there is a fire, using your phone, you will have to search for a certain specification like 50 Hz to extinguish the fire. And I can take that risk. I will spend $1 on it. That's why we decided to take things up a notch.
Here is the bill of materials of Mark II, which has a total of 7,550.33 pesos per unit.
But now we weren't satisfied with the Mark II. So we have come up to another plan, which is Mark III. So this is the detailed drawing or the working drawings of our Mark III, which is composed of a tighter space in the vent and a longer PVC pipe. Yet the principle is still the same. Next. Then this is what the Mark III looks like. And this is the prototype of Mark III as fabricated. Then this is our testing on the Mark III. At this time, we use a highly flammable gas, which is gasoline, instead of just simple alcohol. Next.
For the circuit diagram of Mark III, unfortunately, we are limited when it comes to knowledge about electronics. But thanks to Engineer Namalata, our professor in basic electronic engineering, we have an idea on how it does and some of its parts. But that's why we consulted an ECE for our circuit because we cannot understand some of it. As may we encounter it in our field, we will study it further when requested. So this is our circuit diagram for Mark III, from 12 volts DC battery to 25 watt speaker. Much like the previous circuit diagram, you'll see the various resistors and capacitors here that lead to the speaker. The only difference is we don't need a power supply, as we replace it with a battery. We also updated the auxiliary cord, replacing it with a sound module which specifically recorded 50 Hz sound to resolve the said situation. All of our circuit diagrams checked by a professional ECE.
In Mark III, the POM totaled 8,038.33 pesos per unit with a total of 27 pieces for labor cost.
But then again, the price increased. So how can we buy this product? So we come up to another solution, which is to make a better design, which is the Mark IV. So this is our conceptual design for the Mark IV. And this time, it has a lot of improvements already. For example, is the handle and the speaker and the hole itself. We put it back on the middle since we are going to use a high wattage speaker this time, which is 150 watts. to 200 watts, which was quite a leap from 25 watts. And this time it has a switch, so we can now just simply press it. Then our plan is to put it on inside the houses, which is inserted on the wall, and it's already built in on the wall. Next. Now, the improvement from the previous circuit diagram is that the amplifier and the power supply was too expensive. And now we have come up to a better power supply and amplifier, like two-in-one device that is
Next.
cheaper. Next.
Procedure for our frequency firefighter portable. Step 1. Prepare the frequency firefighter and the battery. Step 2. Connect the frequency firefighter to the battery. Step 3. Turn the frequency firefighter on the switch at the handle. Step 4. Properly place the frequency firefighter to the fire. And this is the procedure for children.
We also added procedures for children, especially to those who cannot read enough letters. So we use the simple diagram of Legos. We use softwares to execute the model.
A device is considered a valuable piece of equipment for most of the people. Cared properly, it can last for years, but if it is neglected, it can add up to a number of costly repairs. If you want to extend the life of our project, which is the fire frequency, here are some maintenance that we should be aware of. First is to keep them dry in terms of preventive care. It's crucial that we keep to our device dry by storing them out of the elements where they can be exposed to rust and other environmental pollutants. We can keep the equipment in better working order for a longer period of time. Second one is keep them clean if the device isn't clean. Then problems can start to crop up in both the short of the long term. Device clogged with potentially flammable or hazardous materials that can pose a threat to both the users and device itself in the short term. Over time, grime can keep the device from running at optimal levels, leading to a shortened lifespan or more costly repairs. For the wise of our device, prevent any type of crashing, impact on cable covering that compromises its durability. And for the battery of our device, check the terminals for possible corrosion and brush them clean as often needed. Inspect the battery for any potential leaks as well. And don't forget to put some accessories. We should always ensure that we owners are buying the correct accessories for the device mismatch. Accessories can cost time and money, especially if incompatible materials lead to broken device down the road. One of the other maintenance that our project need to need to go through is to check the speaker every 3 months to avoid the possibilities of being stuck up. Also to monitor its condition through operating it, proceeding to the manual procedure of the checking whether it's working by clicking on and off for at least 6 months. Then lastly is of course checking the whole device, mainly its amplifier and screws, if it's working properly and is intact to perform its job. Above all, we just need to put effort upon giving extra care for something to last for tremendous year. Never do neglection or else all the previous effort will be put to the trash and be disregarded.
For Mark 2 and 3, they are both expensive, so we come up with the Mark 4 that only cost 1,671 pesos per unit. A fire extinguisher approximately costs 2,500 pesos and have a lifespan of 10 years, wherein our product FFF can last up to 40 years to 50 years. With proper maintenance to avoid corrosion, actually it can last more than 50 years. The anticipated price for our product is 2,599. To prevent break even or negative profit, we had at least 50% markup with the cost per unit.
But good news, 2,599 is not the price of our product. It's only 2,399 pesos. So you have saved 200 pesos and you have a device that lasts for a long time. So our profit is 726 pesos.
Our warranty is 4 years. The product will meet certain specifications. So if the product does not meet those specifications, the buyer can ask us to correct the problem. Certain exceptions only apply, and not every defect is covered. Next, please. The advantages of the FFF is non-consumable. Number 2 is 40 to 50 years lifespan, which is 5 times or either 4 times longer than fire extinguisher. But also battery is included. Lightweight, even the kids can use it. Engineered for max durability, cheaper, and non-toxic and eco-friendly.
Now, where are we going to sell this product? So first, we can have a private contract with the government, especially to contractors. When we are building house, the municipality always approves, but it requires fire and safety. So we can sell this to the government or we can supply it to the government. Next, commercial uses into our houses, industry, and soon to the firefighters who can make this their handy tool.
Conclusion. As future mechanical engineering students, we should be able to manipulate vibration to our own uses. Just like we did, we can harness its capability to extinguish fire. Also, we can gain profits and somehow give job opportunities.
Next, this is the team behind the FFF, consists of Ate Eureka, John Miquel Santos, Errol Aros, Joshua Lopez, Ian Joaquin, and Randel Limuco. For our sources, we have a lot of sources, including articles from NASA and articles at YouTube. For the prices, we use Shopee as a canvas, and to find direct sellers to make this device cheaper. So good evening, everyone. Thank you for bearing with us.